Hey, good morning, guys. It's Donald and Mary. We're here to bring you your morning weather, water, and trail chatter report. And so we've been gone for a few days. It's been really busy, man. We ran into some issues a few nights back, which really kind of just threw us off um, for the last couple of days. But last night we were able to get some rest and recharge, and we are back. So let's start this morning off with Mary and what's going on for weather and water in North Georgia. All right, take it away, Mary.
Thank you, Donald.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Right now in Blairsville, we have 66 degrees and rain showers. Today we're going to have a high of 77. It's going to be cloudy with occasional rain, mainly in the morning. 90% chance of rain, and the winds are going to be 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 56. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible early, and then partly cloudy overnight with more clouds gathering. So it'll be a lot cloudier overnight towards morning. Light and variable winds. Up on Blood Mountain today, high is going to be 70, dropping to 66 this afternoon. There is patchy fog and a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms before 10 a.m. And then it will be partly sunny, 5-mile-per-hour winds, and a 20% chance of rain. Tonight, 54, partly cloudy, 5 to 10 mile per hour winds with gusts up to 20. I picked up a rider the other day. They told me they'd had some heavy winds when they were camping. They camped at Cooper Gap actually, and they said they did have a limb come down on their tent. So thankfully it wasn't a big limb that would cause any injury or worse. So that's a good reminder, even if it's not the gusty winds, even if it's calm, let's always just check the trees and limbs and branches in our surroundings before we set up our camp. Water's good for the most part on the trail. Remember to top off at Hawk Mountain Shelter. As you hike north, your next opportunity for water will be Justice Creek. And then Slaughter Creek, I've had a rider I picked up, I believe it was 2 days ago. They told me that Slaughter is dry, and then you're gonna have no water then. If you don't get water before Slaughter, you need to carry enough to get over Blood Mountain. So top off as you go. Neal to Hogpen is dry, but then Hogpen Gap does have water. You just have to follow the blaze down to the very end. And then let's remember snakes. They're out and about gathering that sunshine. And Cow Rock Boulders, 5 miles north of Neal Gap, does have the copperhead nest and the occasional rattlesnakes also. So as always, just be cautious of our surroundings wherever we are. And then Great Smoky Mountain National Park, bear closures, Twin Creeks, and Chestnut Branch trails. And then campsites 1857 and 82, warnings, campsites 71. All the shelters are open. Let's remember to leave no trace there and anywhere we camp and recreate, properly storing and disposing of food and other items that do have odor, because that will attract the bears. All right, Donald, I'm gonna turn it over to you now. Talk about a whole lot of stuff that's going on out and around us.
All right, perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's start like this, guys. It is 7:21 a.m. on 10/8/2025, and if people don't know, that's October. All right, man. Let's start like this. There's a rescue in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. A 76-year-old hiker was rescued on Sandia Peak Trail Saturday afternoon after he could not continue because of pain from a medical condition. Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office reported. BCSO's Metro Air Support Unit assisted on BCSO Open Space deputies, University of New Mexico medical staff, and Bernalillo County Fire Rescue located the hiker 5.5 miles up the La Luz Trail in heavy wind. The hiker was safely lifted and flown by helicopter to the base of Sandia Peak Trail. So medical personnel were there for further evaluation of the man's condition. The rescue was first operation open space deputies serving rescue specialists, the release said. So good job, guys.
That's right.
All right, so in Palm Desert, California, a person was rescued 10/7/2025 from a trail in Palm Desert after suffering from a medical complaint. The rescue was reported shortly after 3 p.m. Tuesday in the 470,000th block of Portola Avenue, according to the Riverside County Fire Department. The agency said the individual suffered moderate injuries and was hoisted by a helicopter to Grand Ambulance nearby. No further info was available. All right, and so give me 1 second, guys. We've got multiple rescues here. So I wanted to read about this rescue here. There was a hiker, there was a hiker that spent her day out in the Arizona hot sun. So we have a dehydrated hiker spends days stranded in Arizona heat. Then someone hears her screams. So as a lost hiker lay stranded on an Arizona mountain in triple-digit heat, she yelled out of desperation. Eventually, her shouts reached the ears of bystander who called 911. Phoenix police shared to the Facebook to their Facebook site on Monday, October 6th. So officers scoured South Mountain for the lost woman. Body camera footage shared by the department shows. Hello, an officer calls out as he trudges through the dry terrain. The officer approaches another officer. Every now and then, she sees something reflecting over there. The officer says as he points in the distance, "Can you hear that screaming?" "Where's she at?" he murmurs to himself. He keeps searching. "Oh, I found her," the officer says. A faint voice can be heard, then a person lying beside a tree without shoes can be seen. "Hi, what happened?" the officer says as he approaches. The officer tells another, "We found her," adding that she's probably dehydrated. "She can't move," he says. "She's alert, talking to us. I was waiting for you guys to find me," the hiker says in a weak voice. The officer asks the woman how long she's been on the mountain. "1 day," the woman responds. Officers ultimately help the woman down the mountain, the video shows. "We're going to walk this way now," an officer says. "Be careful." Officers guided Phoenix firefighters to the woman. Then she was taken to the hospitals, police said. "Remember, when you hike, do it right and stay on trails," police said. So, I guess this woman was out on trail, found herself where she was disoriented because of dehydration and could not make it back down, crawled under a tree, didn't have any shoes on, and luckily someone heard this woman screaming and came to her rescue, man. Called the cops, and the cops went up, and I'm so glad they were able to find her.
Absolutely. Thank goodness.
Most definitely. And so let's move on to right here. So near Franklin Trail, an 81-year-old woman, an avid hiker, had become disoriented, lost on the trail, and activated the SOS button on her GPS device. Her coordinates placed her in Down Creek off the trail on an embankment. SARS members spread out the search area to search the area from multiple access points. A team from SBC SAR searched down the creek, calling out for the hiker. About a quarter-mile downstream, they located her with minor scrapes and signs of fatigue. The team's EMT provided initial care and assessment until fire personnel arrived and care was transferred to their paramedics. Due to the hiker's fatigue level, a hoist extraction would be safer than escorting her out on foot. Copter 3 with hoist capabilities was requested to respond. As Copter 3 was en route for fog began to roll in, creating concern the hoist might not be possible. The rescue teams prepared a contingency plan involving a rescue litter in case a ground extraction became necessary. Fortunately, Copter 3 arrived swiftly and was able to perform the hoist successfully. The hiker was transported to the hospital for further care. No further information is available. All right, and so let's talk about this Nebraska rescue. So Nebraska game and park officials say as night was falling Monday, a 22-year-old man who had been hiking took a path off a butte that placed him in a deep crevasse that he could not get out of on his own, forcing him to spend a night in the cold and likely damp night outdoors. On Tuesday, 10/7/2025, before his phone ran out of power, he relayed his GPS coordinates to his father, who contacted Game and Parks during the noon hour. Joining in the emergency response were Nebraska State Troopers, Gering Fire and Rescue, Regional West EMS, and Gering Police with their drones. The hiker was found at nearly the exact coordinates he had given. A harness was used to lower the hiker to the waiting ambulance and medical personnel to be checked out. And aside from being a little thirsty, he was none the worse for the wear.
That's good.
Definitely. And so definitely there's more rescues, man, but we're not going to go through them all. Just everyone be safe out there, and 2 thumbs up to SARS and rescue teams, sheriffs, and helicopter rescue, all those guys, man. I don't know if anyone watches that stuff on YouTube, but I do, and they are out there doing some pretty amazing stuff from those helicopters. These guys hang down on these ropes and stuff, and rescue people 1,000 feet up on a cliff, man. I mean, it's pretty amazing what they do out there. And the helicopter pilot being able to, keep their helicopter from hitting the side of the mountain. I mean, it's just amazing.
They're going to deal with wind gusts, depending, and shoving them around. They're going to keep away from the cliffs and hitting things, and the rescuer and all of that. Before we go further, I want to just read this here.
Okay.
I think this is important.
Okay.
The search for the missing hiker was suspended, that we talked about several days ago. Authorities have suspended the search for 47-year-old Sunshine Boris, who went missing on a solo hike at Bodega Head in Sonoma County, California last week. The search was suspended 10/5/25 as Sonoma County Sheriff awaits new leads. The case has been turned back over to the Santa Rosa Police Department for further investigation. They didn't leave a number, but if you have any information, contact Santa Rosa Police Department or anybody. I mean, obviously her safety and information is more important regarding whoever you contact. Just get some authorities and make sure things are taken care of.
All right, thank you for that, man.
You're welcome.
Sweet. I was reading that actually, I think last night, that they had suspended the search for her.
Hopefully, they find her.
Hopefully she pops up somewhere, man.
That's right.
Anything is possible. We'll keep following that and reporting on it as we move on. So Everest, up on Everest also, they had a hardcore freak snowstorm out of nowhere, which has stranded a bunch of people up there. They're working on getting everyone out. I think a lot of them are back to safety, so are being guided back to safety. So definitely that is something that's going on over there. And then the other night, as people know, we ran into an issue. Jordan, we thought it was a water pump, but it was actually his AC unit on the Toyota RAV4s. The unit has a pulley, then the unit, but the bearings go in it, and when those go, it's almost the same thing as a water pump going. It shredded the belt and caused the problem that he had, and it popped up out of pretty much nowhere. So definitely, so his vehicle, it left him stranded on the side of the road up there in Cherokee, coming down from Newfound with 2 hikers. So Mary ended up going up and picking him up and getting him down to Fontana. Jordan had his vehicle towed back here. It's in the garage. It should be out tomorrow, hopefully today, but tomorrow it should be out. So he'll be back on the road tomorrow or the next day. But definitely that one night actually threw us off because we had early morning shuttles and things that were planned for to work a certain way had to go a different way. So we spent a couple nights and days working through that with very minimal amount of sleep. So that all being said, we took a few days and just worked on that, and that's why we were MIA. But we are back, and today we're going to take a whole day down and relax, man. Those hikers that we brought down to Fontana the other night that actually broke down with Jordan ended up calling us yesterday because they made it up about 5 miles from Fontana up the trail heading north to Newfound back to their vehicle, and the father, it was a father and son team, the father had a back issue, and so they decided not to push it any further.
That's right. They didn't want to become a search and rescue. He decided that there was 2 ways to go, Newfound or back to Fontana, and Fontana was the closest option, best option. I think they made a really good decision.
They did.
So they camped at Fontana Shelter another night and had a great time.
Yep. And so we went up and picked them up yesterday. Mary actually had like a 2 a.m., I believe, or 4 a.m. pickup in Morganton, which required a 2 a.m. wake up.
Right.
And we didn't get to sleep that night till like 10 or something, or 9. I can't remember when it was, but it was another wake up early and then head down there. And then we were planning on kind of just not doing anything, but that emergency call came in from the father and the son. So we went up to Fontana and got them back up to Newfound, and they should be down here somewhere. I don't know.
They're heading, they're from Florida. They're
they're
heading
not
back
quitting.
to Florida, but they're taking some, some days because they had some time, just to see how his back is progressing and maybe do some day hikes and still enjoy. I guess his wife got them an Airbnb somewhere, and they're going to enjoy a lake and some trails nearby. So
Sweet.
you can't fault that. It might have changed the plan, but it's still a good one.
That's right, dude. All right, guys. So definitely, man, we're gonna end it here. We'll get some videos up today, man. Get some stuff done, and everything should work out well with Jordan's vehicle. And good times, man. Good food. Drink lots of water, man. Stay hydrated, and lots of exercise is the key to happiness. Anyways, did you have anything else you'd like to say?
No, I don't. Thank you.
All right, sweet. If anyone needs anything at all, give us a jingle, man. One love, peace, thanks.